Max, do you have anything to say about this? What do you have to say about this, Max? What the hell? Alright. It's the Above It All program. Friday. Does anyone know what fucking day it is? Like, Jesus Christ, who even knows at this point? Who even goddamn knows? I think it's Friday. Is it? Hold on. Let me verify the status of today's day. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Yeah! It's fucking Friday. Oh my god. Wow. 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 Oh. Oh. Wow. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Above It All show for today. I'm doing a program today. I apologize on behalf of myself. I'm very high. Everybody, welcome to today's program. I'd like to start today's show by saying shortly after this show is over, maybe an hour or so, I'm going to begin a Twitch stream. I'm going to play the entirety, start to finish, of the Resident Evil 4 remake. So, if anyone wants to check that out, I'll be playing through the entire game in one sitting. I don't know how long it'll take. I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours. I don't know if they added new content. I have no idea. Maybe they added new content. I mean, if we run into that bridge or whatever, I'll deal with it then. But you know, there you go. So if anyone wants to check that out, that will be fun. Playing new games. Everyone keeps telling me to do that, so I did it. But this is a news show, so we're gonna jump into. Well, I didn't do it yet. So we're gonna. This is a news program. Max the dog, everybody, featuring Max the dog. Everyone, give a warm welcome to Max the goddamn dog. Above It All show, sponsored by nobody. So no one watches my fucking show. Alright, so we got, like, there's, like, news going on. I don't even know where to start with this shit. Let's start here, because this is... There's some very crazy stuff going on in the state of Utah. Has anyone saw this yet? Some news came out of Utah this morning. Check this out. Utah's new social media law means children will need approval from parents. So these fucking Republicans, man. These fucking Republicans. China, 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 China. And now, what they're doing is they're stealing China's policy. China passed, like, some law. Well, I don't know if they passed the law. I don't think they do that there. But they created a law of some kind. Some would call it a decree. That said that kids are only allowed to have social media and video game access for, like, only a couple hours a day or something. And now they're trying to do that in Utah. I mean, okay, let's get some of these details, though. Because this is crazy. So, like, I didn't hear about this until now. I mean, you know, I'm not the most informed citizen when it comes to Utah. I don't fucking live there. But hey, Utah became the first state to enact laws limiting how children can use social media after Republican Governor Spencer Cox signed a pair of measures Thursday that require parental consent before kids can sign up for sites like TikTok and Instagram. Now, there is a conversation to be had about what are the, let's say, negative health effects of social media. We know, for example, Facebook owns Instagram. Facebook paid their own internal team to do a study, a scientific research study, on the mental health effects of Instagram, and they found that Instagram directly led to eating disorders, higher rates of depression and anxiety among teenage girls specifically, but all teenage groups a little bit, but teenage girls is a giant uptick in those things. So we know for a fact that these social media companies, as they're designed, are bad for kids' health. I mean, they're bad for anyone's health, let's be honest, right? So I'm down to have this conversation. But what I'm not down for is for governments to impose these kinds of restrictions before anyone's really even had any form of a conversation about this thing, right? So again, okay, so you're not allowed to use TikTok if you're 17 years old? What about YouTube? I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out. I'm going to keep reading this. The two bills Cox signed into law also prohibits kids under 18, 17-year-olds, from using social media between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. What does that mean? Require age verification for anyone who wants to use social media in the state. What? So if you are 48 years old and you want to make a fucking Instagram account, you need to like submit your birth certificate to the fucking government? Like, how do you do age verification? Or is it that little thing where you just drop down, yeah, I was born in 1901, thank you very much. Oh, access granted. Like, is it that level of verification? You know, we've all seen that shit. But like, I was born in 1863. Can I go look at this fucking website, please? Thank you. I mean, we've all done that. But anyway, like, how do you enforce this? How do you fucking enforce this? Like, okay, what happens at 10:30? This is my question, okay? What happens at 10:30? Okay, so you're scrolling through TikTok, 10:29. You're in the middle of a TikTok. Does the device shut off? Like, does it prevent you from loading the next TikTok? So like, or like, let's say you load up like an hour-long video. Like, does it prevent you from, like, does it just stop the site immediately? Does it shut down your phone? I mean, we're not even talking about the technological mechanisms for how this stuff would work, right? Like that, I don't even know if that exists yet, right? But like, I'm trying to imagine how this is enforced, right? I really don't know. The laws passed through Utah's Republican supermajority legislature are the latest reflection of how politicians' perceptions of technology companies are changing. And that includes pro-business Republicans, tech giants like Facebook and Google, blah, 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 blah. Other red states, such as Arkansas, Texas, Ohio, and Louisiana, have similar proposals in the works along with New Jersey. California, meanwhile, enacted a law last year requiring tech companies to put kids' safety first by barring them from profiling children or using personal information in ways that could harm children physically or mentally. So this is the thing, right? Is I'm a YouTube creator. Right? And so I remember when California passed that law, because the entire website of YouTube, they updated their bullshit. So now every time I upload a fucking video to YouTube, which I do frequently, I gotta like make sure that my video follows this California fucking law or whatever the fuck, right? Obviously, they made it easy to do. You can just like disable something channel wide. But the point is, right? Am I going to have to, every time I upload a video or whatever, right? Every time I sign into something, like how are tech companies going to respond to this? Well, probably they're just going to make these tools available to everyone in every state and then just make them optional. But like theoretically though, it in order for this law to be enforceable, we need to create a new technological fashion for how we use these applications, which these tech companies are going to want to try to present to a wider market under the guise of like parental locking or controls or whatever. And I'm just wondering how this is going to go, because I mean, this is crazy stuff here. Now, again, I don't think social media is good for anybody's mental health, but I don't think the government legislating that you can't use TikTok at a 10:45 because it's bedtime. I just think, again, this nanny state bullshit. Not a huge fan in general. Not a huge fan of this. But, I mean, I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy. We got a program. You seen this fucking shit? Has anyone seen this shit? Has anyone seen this goddamn dog? Does anyone see this? Look at this. Look at this dog. Look at this. Max, you're a dog. Like, he's just happy to be alive, this motherfucker. Max, you're just happy to be alive, aren't you? Look at his tail. Can you see this shit? Wow. That's pretty funny. Look at this dog. Right, I'm doing a new show today. Above It All show today. So welcome to the Above It All show. Welcome to the program. The Above It All program is sponsored by the Pilot G2, of which I'm going to put in my hair. I'm not actually sponsored by them, but if they want to reach out, let me know. I enjoy their pens. They got a nice, fine point, and they're very nice to write with. So please sponsor me. Anyway, we got Max the dog here joining us this morning. We got Max the dog, who's joining us this morning, and who's a dog, and I've got this microfiber cloth on my desk, so if anyone, shout outs to microfiber cloths, but look, this is a news show, so I guess we'll get into the news portion of this program, just because this is a news show, right? So when you're doing a news show, typically you want to do news on the news show. This is what we do here at News Show Industries Incorporated, and so let's jump in. So if you live in the state of Idaho and you're planning on having children, which, just my own personal advice, don't have children. That's just my suggestion. Just try doing something else. I know you might not know how to fill time for 30, 40 years, but get a hobby. Get 3 hobbies. I don't know. Anyway, but if you're trying to have a kid in Idaho, you're going to run into some issues. So Idaho Hospital says it is ending labor and delivery services amid political climate. Now, I just want to say this. I agree with this decision. Now, I know what the counterpoint would be. Why should hospitals force certain people to suffer based on the laws or whatever? I say this. I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but let's say I'm a doctor. I don't want to go to jail because some other fucking dumbass decided to get pregnant and now needs me to intervene. Imagine what happens. Imagine if the baby comes out dead or some shit, some freak accident. Now I have to go to court and I have to fucking defend myself. These states are passing, like fucking Georgia's passing like a death penalty for abortion and that kind of stuff. I'm not risking that. So again, I agree with this move. And again, people are going to suffer, but they're not suffering because a hospital is deciding to do what they have to do a little earlier than they would have to normally. They're suffering because of fucking Republicans and and their conspiratorial religious fucking garbage that they want to mandate on everyone else that lives in this fucking country. So anyway, let's keep going. And by keep going, I mean let's begin. An Idaho hospital said it will no longer be providing obstetrical care due in part to the state's legal and political climate, obliquely referring to recent restrictions on abortions. You know, this is like some fucking college essay level vocabulary going on here. Is anyone obliquely? Whoa. Holy shit. In a news release, Bonner General Health in Sandpoint, 400 miles north of Boise, and serving about 9,000 people, said it would end its labor and delivery services by mid-May. We have made every effort to avoid eliminating those services. We hope to be the exception, but our challenges are impossible to overcome. The release cited several reasons for the maternity ward closing, including a loss of pediatricians to provide neonatal and perinatal care, fewer babies being born at the hospital, and the changing political landscape. Again, I'm not going to risk going to jail because I walked in to do my job on a fucking Tuesday, right? Wow. I'm just saying. This is what the doctors are thinking, right? Also, this is an unfortunate name here. Bonner General Health Campus. Like, who the fuck? Like, come on now. Come on. Who the fuck's naming your hospital Bonner? Like, come on. Like, fucking Bonner General Health Campus. In addition, the Idaho legislature continues to introduce and pass bills that criminalize physicians for medical care nationally recognized as the standard of care. The news release stated, physicians providing the standard of care may include civil litigation and criminal prosecution leading to jail time or a fine. March 22, before the Supreme Court, blah, blah, blah. So basically, they're saying we're not running the fucking gamble. We're not playing with the dice here. We at Bonner General Health Campus are not going to jail because of a mistake or an accident waiting to happen. Because some shit-faced, fuck-faced Republicans decided to pass a law that doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense because they're religious fundamentalist freak shows, right? So I say, fuck them. I say, and again, I'm also going to say this, you're a parent in Idaho, and hey, I'm just saying this. If you live in Idaho and you are having a child in Idaho, that should constitute child abuse. Hey, maybe this is a little bit of a radical statement, but hear me out here. You're going to bring a new human being onto this earth in Idaho? Come on. Fucking Idaho. Come on. Someone get Child Protective Services down there in Idaho. We need a complete and total shutdown of fucking live births in Idaho until we figure out what the fuck is going on, man. But anyway, there you go. This is the random noises portion of the program where I scream and make noises that break your eardrums for my own and exclusively my own entertainment. So I hope you enjoy. But today is a day where I'm doing an Above It All program. I've got some news that I want to cover. Some news for my news show. Doing a news show today. And so I'd like to do the news. Because I'm doing a new show, so doing a news program today. For today, I mean, I'm doing it for tomorrow too. I'm doing it for 20 years from now as well. I mean, I'm doing it for yesterday. Maybe you could doing a new show today. And today is Friday. I don't know if anyone knew that today is Friday.
Yeah!
And on Friday I do a show. Tomorrow is Saturday. I will not be streaming tomorrow. So get that out your brain right now. But I will be back on Sunday for the new show program. Once again, follow me on twitch.tv, y'all. I mean, I'm going to be streaming for quite a couple hours later on. I'm playing the new old game, Resident Evil 4 Remake. So if anyone wants to watch that, I will be playing through the entire thing. If you want to watch it. But if you don't want to watch it, then go fuck yourself. So, doing a program today. Let's jump in. So, there's all, we live in a very interesting time. And I just want to say this much, not to pat myself on the back, which I do often, but I'm not going to do it here. When I said Republicans taking over the House, it's over. It's game, set, match on this whole thing called America. Like, that's over. Now, again, Republicans, they're able to pass legislation. They just convince Joe Biden to make it bipartisan, right? Like, Republicans just go up there and say, Joe Biden's soft on X, and then Joe Biden will be like, what? Ah! And then he'll just sign whatever the fuck they want, like he did with that DC bullshit, right? And so Joe Biden, garbage, right? So Republicans are going to walk all over him, but they're doing messaging bills. What do they want to do? Let's say if they win the presidency or the Senate in the next election, right? What are they going to do? Well, I'll show you what they're going to do here. The fight over parental rights in schools comes to the House floor. Republicans want to pass a Parents' Bill of Rights that guarantees parents certain information about their children's schooling. Democrats argue it's a stunt. So what is this? This is based on the fucking Florida stupid fucking garbage parental rights and education bill. Parental rights. I say this. Fuck parental rights. How about that? Fuck you. If you're a parent, and I've said this on my show many times, but if you are a parent and you, for example, in Texas, you're not allowed to tell people in school, kids in school, it's illegal to say that slavery is wrong. If you're a parent that calls up and complains that your child was told that slavery is bad, I think you shouldn't be allowed to raise that child. I think you should have Child Protective Services immediately called to your home, because teaching children to be racist or to be neo-Nazis or to hate minorities of any kind, guess what? That's child abuse. You are brainwashing them into a cult, and they are not going to be able to be fully integrated in society without serious rehabilitation. That is torturing a child to teach them to hate minority groups, and that's what these Republicans do. They teach their kids to hate other people for no fucking reason. I say this, if you're a Republican, you should have a parole officer, but for your kids. You should have people that check up on your kids every once in a while to make sure, hey, if you're a Nazi, that's your own thing. But if you start telling your children to be a Nazi, or that black people shouldn't be allowed to be taught about in school, or that slavery was a choice, or that transgenders are taking over the country, guess what? Go fuck yourself. You shouldn't be allowed to have kids. Now, with all that being said, those are my biases. I gotta let people know that at the start of the video so that they can freak out, leave their fucking triggered cringe post comment, and then just fuck off already. So anyway, let's keep going. And by let's keep going, I mean, of course, let's begin. I haven't actually started yet. So, House Republicans are set to pass a bill Friday that would guarantee parents access to information about their children's public education, fulfilling a midterm promise, blah, blah, blah. 30-page bill would update the 1965 Elementary and Secondary Education Act to enforce the public schools make certain information available online, including class curriculums. Now, to be honest with you, see, this is the Trojan horse bullshit. I don't actually mind the idea that class curriculums could be publicly available. I think that's good. I think, yes, I agree. Reading lists, I agree. Library books and schools budget, I agree with all this. But Again, Trojan horse. So they're going to say this common sense stuff. Oh, parents should be able to see what the curriculum is. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is parents calling up the school, arguing and yelling at the school teachers to force them to take away certain parts of history, right? I remember dealing with this when I was going to high school. When I was going to high school, this was like there was a big debate over whether or not you can teach evolution to kids. This was maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, was a big debate in this country over whether or not evolution is allowed to be taught in school. And so I remember going to science class, not being allowed to be taught evolution, asking my teacher, what's going on? What about evolution? And then my teacher was like, we're not allowed to talk about that. Right? So I'm just saying, right, it's one thing to have a publicly available curriculum. It's another thing for a fucking religious nutbag freak to call the school and say, well, goddamn God created goddamn planet 6,000 years ago. You mother, don't you dare teach my kid about that. Right? And then the school's like, well, I guess we can't do it. That's the fucking problem, okay? That's the fucking problem. But again, this is how they do this shit. It's with the Trojan horse approach. So administrators also would have to notify parents of any violent acts that happen on school grounds and to collaborate with them on how to best protect their kids. Agree. But again, and now Washington Post is doing this laundering thing where, again, the more like words into an article, the less retention people are going to have, right? So they're going to start off with the Republican propaganda, and then they're going to get into a little bit more of the garbage as most people click off, right? So again, but here, check this out. While the House is expected to pass the Parents' Bill of Rights Act, even though some in the conference have concerns about the government overreach, it is highly unlikely Democratic-controlled Senate will consider the legislation. The reality positions the legislation to serve as a message for Republicans who believe a majority of voters agree with their position that parents don't have enough input on what their children experience at public schools. Blah, blah, blah. So again, this is also paving the way for the same kind of other bullshit like, oh, if your child tells us that they're trans and they don't want their parents to know because their parents would fucking whip them or bring out a belt on them or beat the fucking shit out of them, which happens every day in especially southern states, right? Maybe, yes, I wouldn't want my religious fundamentalist parents to know that I'm a part of a minority group that they vehemently advocate death for at every stand, right? Maybe there would be a reason for that. I don't know. Maybe Child Protective Services should be called, but again, we don't actually care about protecting children in this country, right? So again, all this is a Trojan horse fucking bill where they're going to talk about, oh, we just want parents to be informed. But it's not just about parents being informed. It's about parents having the right to basically change everything in the school because they're triggered little babies who are offended that the fact that black people have equal rights in this country, at least ostensibly have equal rights in this country, right? At the same time that they claim that black people are treated equally, they're like also claiming that they wish that wasn't the case. Very, very interesting stuff here. But anyway, we get a little casual fucking, as the pandemic subsided, the pandemic did not subside. This is just, COVID revisionism. But again, this is a bunch of garbage. You're going to see this shit national discourse, at least until Republicans lose all form of any power, which probably won't happen if it ever happens, but it probably won't happen at least in the next 10 to 15 years. So we're going to have to deal with this fucking garbage forever. And imagine going to school in this climate. I mean, again, when I was in school, it was the big thing was evolution. Oh boy, evolution is scary. Yeah, this is in the aughts, right? This is in like fucking the mid 2000s, like evolution is fucking scary. Give me a fucking break. This is in like 2010. Evolution is fucking scary, right? So it's the same shit, just a different target. And it's a damn shame, to be honest. But I just wanted to say again, Republicans should not be allowed to raise children. And before anyone hits me with that eugenics crap, go fuck yourself, right? If a Republican wants to have a child, feel free, right? They shouldn't be allowed to raise them, right? I believe personally, right, there's no gene for fascism, right? So, it's nurture is way more important than nature. So I say this, Republicans have as many kids as you want, as long as you're not anywhere near them. I say treat Republicans like we treat sex offenders. You should be allowed 100 feet within a school, so on and so forth. That's my opinion on Republicans. But I know it's a little radical, it's a little extreme. So there you go. But it's a news program. We're doing a news program today. For today. doing a new show. News programs. Is anyone here like the news program today? I don't know. We got Gamer Man in the fucking chat. We got Fun P showing up. We got Soul Ife in the goddamn and more. And more are watching today's program. So hello, users. Hello, people. At least maybe your people. Maybe this is part of the simulation. Maybe I'm just talking to myself here. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going on. But I'm on. I believe at least maybe I haven't really been counting too well. So I think I'm on my 5th 36-hour fast. I guess I'm like 15 hours, 16 hours in now. So again, been going pretty well for me. I've been enjoying it. You know, I just want to say this much. For those of you out there, a lot of people show up in my stream and I'm talking about this fasting stuff. And people say, I like food. I like food. Well, I like food too. But I'm going to tell you this much. I had spaghetti yesterday for breakfast after 36 hours without eating. That was the best fucking spaghetti I've ever had in my entire fucking life. I'm going to tell you this. Food tastes better when you fast every once in a while. So if you really are a food snob, if you really consider yourself a foodie, someone that enjoys the taste of a good meal, I suggest skipping a couple meals, and it's going to make whatever it is you put in your mouth next pretty fucking nice. So just throwing that out there. Spaghetti for breakfast, folks. Not today, but yesterday, maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? But let's keep going. So again, I've covered, you know, I talk about this stuff sometimes against my own better judgment, right? But you know what? Whatever. Sometimes I'm in the mood to talk about the media that, like, the mainstream news, mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of these major news networks, right? New York Times, Washington Post, and the Republican Party's crusade against transgender people in this country. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to talk about it. Sometimes I am. I happen to be in the mood to talk about it. So here's the latest in this fucking tyrannical crusade against like 0.3% of the population. Like, you ever see these polls, by the way, where like the average Republican thinks that transgender people are like 20% of the population, but the real number is like they're a half of a percent. You know, you ever see that shit? But anyway, Iowa governor signs transgender bathroom bill, bans gender-affirming care for youth. Wow. I love this, by the way, because it's just like, it's every day. It's every fucking day. You see these crazy, insane psychopaths do insane fucking shit that has no basis in any sort of medical research. There's no scientific basis. There's no historical basis. There's no biological basis. The only basis that they have for any of this is we hate minorities and we want them to die and suffer as much as possible before we kill them. That's the only basis for this. Otherwise, they're just illogical. The only acceptable logic is they just want people like me to suffer and die. And I just wish they'd be honest with it. You know, some of them are, like the Michael Knowles kind of people are more honest about that. You know, you see with the Matt Walshes, right? They advocate to kill people all the time, right? So again, those guys, at least they're honest. But you see all the, like, there's this weird middle ground of, oh, we're protecting kids. Like, they're not protecting fucking kids. What are you protecting kids from? Are you going to protect kids from COVID? No. Are you going to protect kids from poisoned food? No. Are you going to protect kids from PFAS? No. Are you going to protect kids from poverty? No. You're not going to protect kids from jack shit. So anyway, let's keep going. By keep going, of course, what I mean is start, because I just have a tendency to ramble before I begin reading these articles. Iowa Governor Kim Fuckface Motherfuck on Wednesday signed into law 2 bills that will restrict the rights of transgender young people in the state. One of them, Senate File 538, prohibits doctors from providing gender-affirming health care, including puberty blockers. Again, if you are a certain minority group that we advocate extinction for, you are not allowed to go to the doctor? What? How about this? What if you are a Republican, not allowed to go to the doctor? All Republicans are banned from the doctor. You can't go. The hospital, oh, are you a Republican? They pull up your voter registration. Boom, banned. Hey, I mean, wouldn't that be a little fucked up? Isn't that a little fucked up? it's pretty fucking fucked up. But again, when it comes to minority groups that they don't want to live, it's all good. It's all good. Both laws are effective immediately, although healthcare providers who are already administering gender-affirming healthcare to minor patients will have 180 days before they are forced to end treatment. So again, forcing detransition of people that, again, it's like, oh, you're on cancer treatment, you're on chemotherapy. The chemotherapy is working? We're going to take the chemotherapy off, and then the fucking kid dies of cancer. Whoa! Whoa! That's just exactly what they're doing. But again, I just need everyone to understand no one cares. No one cares about this. Like, if you're trans and you're watching me, first of all, no one cares about this. No one cares about you. No one cares about me. Like, liberals certainly don't care, right? Let's be honest. Liberals don't give a fuck. Like, a lot of leftists don't give a fuck about us. No one fucking cares. So Republicans are just going to pass all this crazy ass shit trying to legislate us into genocide. No one's going to do anything about it. They're going to steamroll elections like they did last time. Look at, they won the House of Representatives based on a campaign of hating fucking minorities, right? So no one gives a shit about us. No one cares. We are going to die, and that's it. I'm just saying. Like, maybe I'm a doomer. Maybe I'm sounding the alarm. I say this. If you live in the United States, you're trans, you got about 10 fucking years before you either get the fuck out or you die. That's my... I suggest you leave. Maybe I want to leave. So maybe I'm working on it. I'm not saying any announcements here. But I'm just saying here, this is some crazy ass shit. And what's the opposition? The opposition are Democrats. That's who we have to rely on to save us from the incoming tsunami. Democrats. Do you feel safe? Do you feel safe? The Democrats have your back. Just like they had the backs of black people, right? When they campaigned on the George Floyd Police Reform Act and all this fucking shit. And then as soon as they got elected, the Democrats, what did they do? They tripled police funding. And then 2022 had the most police murders of any year on record. So hey, everybody in the trans community, myself included, Democrats have got your back. They got your back! Aren't you happy now? Don't worry, everybody. The Democrats are here to save the day from these fuckers. Literally, Adolf Hitler has come back from the dead like Jesus Christ from the Bible. But don't worry, because the Democrats are here to save the day, everybody. Wow. Anyway, so just to point out where we're at in this fucking country. Jesus, goddamn motherfucking Christ. We're not doing so well. We're just not doing so well over here, so... I advise you to get the hell out of here. Got a program today. Today's the Above It All Show, episode 1805. That's a lot. You ever see someone else do 1805 fucking shows? Man, anyone else in that situation? Crazy! Like, this is some real, like, Looney Tunes stuff. Like, some dumb bitch does this fucking shit 1805 times. You know, it's interesting that y'all are talking about this, because I'm gonna broach this hornet's nest actually pretty soon here, okay? So everyone brace for fucking impact before I get in on that. But I got coffee here again. Today I am on a 36-hour fast. I will be doing a live stream of Resident Evil 4 Remake. I will be playing through the entire game, start to finish, all the way through. Barring some very unforeseen circumstance, I will be playing the entire game. So I don't know if it might be 4 hours. I used to speedrun the game. I used to have the world record, the original version. So, you know, I could play through the original version, all the cutscenes included, in 2 hours. But again, it's a remake. I don't know if they added new stuff. I don't really know, to be honest with you. So it could take 4 to 6 hours. I don't really know, but we'll see. Either way, that's going to be happening, and I'd like for people to show up for me if you wouldn't mind. I mean, it would be, you know, it would be nice if you did. I mean, support me. Or no, you don't have to support me. You don't have to, because I don't matter. Anyway. Oh, God. All right. Okay. If anyone wants to show up to my Twitch stream, by the way, here's the link. I'll be streaming probably within an hour of this show being over. So, or not, maybe 2 hours. I don't work it out. All right, everybody, I'm going to hop in on the trending discourse for today, everybody. Trending discourse. Everyone's talking about it. So, and, you know, I feel like I am in a unique position here, being a transgender American, to talk about the trending discourse of the day in left-wing circles. And that's right, we're going to talk about A.K. Rowling here. So this is Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks. You know, a lot of people have asked me to cover this person's, like, rightward shift. People have been asking me to cover that for a while. But I don't really, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really care about TYT. I don't really watch them. But I saw this, you know, I watch a couple of their clips now and then, you know, just to, you know, get all my biases out there. But I don't really care for any of them, to be honest with you. But I saw this tweet, and this tweet is just so bad. I mean, this is so bad. So I just want to be very frank with everybody. I'm willing to just write this person off. This person is useless. I'm talking about A.K. Rowling over here. I'm talking about Anna Kasparian. She is useless. I don't get, like, now, I also have, she did, like, 2 response videos. She did, like, 2 days in a row of video responses, like, apologetic or non-apologetic apologies, right? I'm going to go into both of those because there's a lot to unpack here. But I'm just going to say, Anna Kasparian, useless. This is a useless person. I don't give a fuck about her track record, just to be honest with you. And this is my opinion. You're free to disagree with it. As a transgender American, I see this. I see a useless motherfucker. I see someone who's going to buckle in seconds. So let's read the tweet here. I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus. A birthing person. A person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit. So, again, we need to say what needs to be said. No one is calling Anna Kasparian a birthing person, right? No, like she's, like, walking down the street and she sees, like, a homeless person go, like, hey, pretty birthing person. Like, I don't know, because I know she hates homeless people too, but it's like literally 0%, 0.00 human beings on planet Earth throughout the entire history of the world have ever looked at this fucking person and called her, hey, person with a uterus. No one's ever done that, right? So again, like, that needs to be said, because really the context here is extremely important. No one was talking about any of this shit until this stupid fucking bitch decided to open her mouth via tweet and make trending discourse for multiple days, where people like me are going to have to take the brunt of this, because all I get to see now over all of my social media feed is every fucking so-called progressive YouTuber defend this fucking stupid garbage. Oh, but she's made videos about the transgenders. But why? She's so supportive. Is she? I mean, making videos where you take an obvious point. I don't really even understand that as a defense, by the way, right? Because if you make videos about how transgender people are under attack in this country, You should know better on whether or not to say this stupid fucking garbage, right? That's the thing about it, right? So the first, like, line defense from you see all these fucking progressive YouTubers. You see it all over Twitter. These so-called leftist allies making defenses for this fucking stupid-ass garbage. Now, again, I don't give a shit about the Young Turks. You know, a lot of people have said they want me to go on the Young Turks. If this ruins my chances of doing that, I don't fucking care, right? I know some people that work on the Young Turks. I know a couple of them. I've been on a couple of people's shows, right? I don't give a fuck. If this burns a bridge, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about this person. I don't care about these people, right? Whether or not it gives a stain to anyone else at the network, I'm not having that conversation. I don't care. That's not the conversation I'm having. This person is just a useless pile of garbage on this issue. And the fact that people are going to use her so-called track record, what the fuck, track record of making YouTube videos? Making fucking YouTube videos? That's your track record? Wow, okay, great track record. But anyway, it's just insufferable. No one was talking about this. She decided to have, like, some weird schizophrenic panic attack where, like, oh, someone's calling me person with a uterus. Oh, my God. Right? For no reason whatsoever. And then everyone criticizing her. Right? Like, again, like, even on the screen, you have Humanist Report give, like, again, milquetoast. And I love Humanist Report. He's been on my show before. I love this guy. He's great. Go subscribe to the Humanist Report. But he is trying. He's literally begging. Like, please, just please take it back. Please, look at this. I respect you a lot, but the notion that this existence of trans-inclusive terms rarely used in casual convos somehow degrades women comes right out of the anti-trans war on women playbook. There is a reason why they're praising you for this. So he is begging her. He is, like, on his knees. Anna, please take it back. This is an L. You know it's an L. Please take it back, and God bless him. I know we both, Humanist Report and myself, we both don't believe in God. But you know what? God bless this guy for trying, okay? Like, that's great. I'm happy for him. But again, just look at this response. And again, we got videos here. We got videos. You know, say what you want about the source of these videos. I got some videos here we're going to get into. This is like, you know, I'm just hopping in on it. You know, I don't do this drama stuff often, but I'm just having fun with this. I'm high, okay? I'm enjoying myself. All right, so let's just, like, she responds with this fucking shit. Hey, Mike, your guy. Now, I assume she meant to say you're a guy, but she says your guy. You are guy! Like, bitch motherfucking came out of the Neolithic period. But anyway, your guy who has no clue what it's like to have your reproductive freedom taken away, but consider what it's like to have the same lawmakers who fail to protect our rights turn around and call us people with uteruses. Oh, really? Oh, really? So what about what the feeling is when so-called allies turn around and fucking assault us in the world of rhetoric, bringing in trending topics where trans people are just always going to be talked over? By the way, you ever see any of these fucking left-wing news shows invite transgender people on? Maybe you do. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not in those circles anymore. I don't really care about that stuff. But, like, you ever see, like, oh, let's ask transgender people what they think about this? No, I haven't seen that. Maybe it's there, and I'd like to see that. But anyway, we got two videos here. She mentioned it twice, I guess. So I'm going to play these in chronological order. You know, again, I'm not watching TYT main show. These were sent to me because some people wanted me to talk about it because I'm the resident transgender YouTuber. So people want me to talk about it, and today I decided to take the bait. I'll bite. Let's enjoy it. Right, but okay, so this, like, if these are out of context, if there's, like, a missing third clip, feel free to send it to me. Feel free to send it to me. Maybe I'll talk about it in my next show, but again, just to be honest with you, there's a chance that there is some contextual stuff here, but again, I want to be as fair as possible. So there's two responses. I got two of them. I think they're both bad. Let's jump in.
Jasmine Bryant says, neither trans people or any organization that fights for us wants to refer to you as a birthing person. The language is used in a general sense to include trans men when a general statement is needed.
So again, she's like reading like a donation comment or some shit. Like someone spent money to educate this fucking bitch on something that apparently she has a great track record on. Like, oh, her track record. Motherfucking track record, dude. Okay, but again, So this bitch has a profound 100% report card. You know, she's got a 4.0 like grade point average. Her track record is banging, man. She's got like the A++ shit going on. She's got extra credit on that bitch. She got a 4.5. I don't know what GPA is. Does it cap out at 4? I honestly don't know. I could have been making that up. Anyway, what does she have to say? She just gets educated. Someone spent money. Someone gave her and her, I'm pretty sure that it's like a donation comment system. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know. But theoretically, someone spent money to educate her, and this is her response. Check it out.
When I'm reading about my rights being stripped away from me by the federal government, and when I'm reading quotes from the Democratic Party that failed to protect my reproductive rights, it adds insult to injury to read not women, but birthing people. I don't
like, okay. Now, again, I just want to say this. To my understanding, contextually, this is her first video response, right? So she got, basically, I mean, like, let's be honest, she got dogpiled pretty hard, and, you know, I agree with it in this instance, and she came up with a second video response, right? So this is the first one before she really realized how badly she fucked up, right? And it's just really bad. Now, first of all, again, no one's calling, like, this fucking tweet here, right? Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus. No one's referring to her specifically as a person with a uterus. So if she's reading a policy about abortion rights and it says anyone, by the way, transgender men, I don't know if you know this, some of them, not all of them, but some of them can get pregnant. How would you feel if you're a transgender man and you've been left out of the conversation, actually erased? Actually legitimately erased? Well, A.K. Rowling doesn't give a fuck about you. She doesn't give a fuck about you. And this is what I'm talking about, useless liberal allies, right? Because the moment a liberal ally, so-called, is slightly inconvenienced a little bit, she's gonna drop all the fucking facade. And again, now, this person, again, has made so many videos literally refuting her exact cringe post here, and yet somehow that's like a defense of her. Like, she knows the refutation of this. She has said on her show the refutation of this exact sentiment and this exact post. So she's been on both sides of this, and now the most recent occurrence is she is flipping onto the right side of this issue. All right, so again, let's play the rest of this because it gets worse.
I don't want to ever be referred to as a birthing person under any circumstance. I find it offensive. I respect the transgender community. I just ask that they also respect how other people want to be referred to.
Both sides. Both sides. Yo. I respect the transgenders, but like, again, I'm saying useless liberals. Now, again, does this make A.K. Rowling a bad person? I'm not here to weigh in. I don't care. If she's a bad person, good person, to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck, right? But when I say, like, useless, she has no actual use value, because what she's going to do is she's going to use that clout and that credit that she has gained with this so-called track record to brainwash a bunch of liberals into thinking trans people are forcing person with a uterus on people that they're not, right? So anyone that she did convince onto the left or whatever, like whatever hypothetical value that you think her track record has accomplished, right? Those same people, if they were convinced by her to go onto the left side of that issue, they're going to follow her right off the cliff onto the right side of this issue. And that's why this is harmful garbage. And this is apparently the largest progressive news outlet or whatever. This is why I personally think that left-wing YouTube content is gone. It's done. Like, whatever generation the TYT comes out of, this generation of leftist content, it's not even leftist, right? Like, it's liberal. It's like what MSNBC would be considered, but for a different kind of subset of a demographic here. Like, these people don't really provide that much cutting edge information, let's be honest, right? They don't really have that great takes on many things. Now, again, I'm talking about the TYT main show. I know a lot of people They love their other side projects. They have other kinds of shows. I'm just talking about this main show here. This is a detriment to everything. I'm just going to be honest. This is useless fucking garbage. I don't care about what your opinion is on whatever subject. If you're going to be changing your mind and flip-flopping to the right on these issues, I'm going to call you a stupid fucking bitch. And again, this is the first non-apology apology video. There's a second one that's even worse, okay?
Person with a uterus, person who menstruates, birthing people. I just find it incredibly demeaning. And I'm allowed to feel that way. I don't think that that's transphobic at all. I will fight to the death for equal rights for the transgender community.
Now, first of all, I'm just going to put this out there. She will not fight to the death. Like, I know it's hyperbole. I know when people say I would fight for the death, they don't actually mean it. But I'm just saying, if you are going to drop this fight over the word birthing person, like that's going to make you drop trans rights, then you're definitely not going to die for it. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, right? Like the idea of people in a clinical setting talking about something a little bit, right, causing you to have a meltdown, I know for a fact you're not going to die for it. But again, I support the transgenders, but it's conditional. And this is why I refer to this person as a useless ally, because you need to have unconditional support and solidarity for minority groups, or else I don't care about you. Right? Now, does that mean you have to worship every single transgender person? No. Does that mean you have to worship anyone who belongs to any minority group? No. There's a lot of people that are in minority groups that you can disagree with. But the idea that you're going to say, I support transgender people, but it's conditional upon you not calling me a person with a uterus, which no one called her a person with a uterus to begin with, right? Again, conditional support is not support. And I'm going to say this much. You know, a lot of people's second line defense that I've seen from a lot of people trying to defend Anna Kasparian is that, oh, no one called Anna Kasparian a person with a uterus. They're only using this language in a clinical setting, in healthcare settings. I say this much. That's also wrong. We should not just use this language in just clinical and healthcare settings. We should be using this language in all kinds of conversations. Why? Because it's inclusive fucking language. And yes, will inclusive language be awkward in a transitionary sense? Absolutely. But that just comes with the territory. So if you're someone who actually supports inclusive language, which she's trying to have it both ways, if you actually support inclusive language, you would support inclusive language outside of a medical context as well as inside of a medical context. Now, again, we can debate the terms birthing person. We're allowed to debate what the best inclusive term can be. We are allowed to debate that. Are some of them clunky? Yes, absolutely. And you know what? You know what I'd rather be debating, right? Or conversing about is what inclusive language is the best for all parties involved. But Anna, A.K. Rowling, is not interested in that debate. She's interested in using her platform to speak down to people who are simply just trying to educate her, right? Like, she's responding to this donation message that's literally just basic education.
Trans people or any...
Right, like, again, so it's just an L on everything, right? I don't want to talk about this, but I'm going to on this one just because no one else is going to do so. So here's another clip I saw. Zeke Gonzalez, you know, with all due respect, I mean, I don't want to read whatever caption there's that. So anyway, I saw this one too. This is the second apology, at least as it was sent to me, right? You know, all the love for Zeke. They're a good Twitter hype man. Love the guy. This is an L on this one. I'm just saying, I'm allowed to disagree with people. It's okay. Disagreement with someone saying something bad is not cancel culture. I'm allowed to disagree with people. I know, shocking, right? So this is the second apology because apparently they figured they should address it a second time. I want to watch this one too because it's just bad. It's really bad.
C. Zerkley wrote in, I love TYT, but I'm kind of tired of getting the vibe from Anna and even Cenk at times that my plight as a trans man who could get preggers if raped offends her because she feels like birthing persons is offensive.
So let me just address something, okay? For me, as a woman who has experienced endless debates, like,
yo, this bitch. Now again, when I say bitch, I mean I call everyone a bitch. So like them or hate them, that's just my language. Some people don't like the word dude. That's fine. Some people don't like the word bitch. Okay, I use them interchangeably. That said, I love how this debate is always starting for me, on transgender rights. For me, like, we're not talking about you. Like, I really want to be honest with this. No one's talking about Anna Kasparian. No one called you whatever it is you're offended by. You are not the center of this conversation. Honestly, I don't care. But anyway, let's keep going.
Our bodies are so politicized. And I hate feeling from the right.
Really? Okay. Now again, so are people in the transgender community? Right? Like the idea that like cis women have a unique like politicization of their bodies compared to other forms of minority groups is just a little silly. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say. It's just silly. This is not like a zero sum, like my rights as a cis woman are more important than your rights as a trans person, right? Like, why? How about this? How about all people that are oppressed work together? How about, like workers of the world unite kind of stuff? Is that possible? No, because these people don't actually care about left-wing values. They care about like maintaining some form of liberal capitalism that they think is just like preferable to the current form of dystopian capitalism. That's really all they care about. But again, let's keep going here, because she's really trying to toe the line. In the first clip, she was just like, no, I'm offended. Right? This one, she's trying harder to apologize, and therefore I think it's worse.
My entire life that our bodies are just meant for producing children. So the phrase person with a uterus, for me, is triggering. But I understand the importance of inclusive language. I just don't like to be boiled down to a body part.
Honestly, man, this shit is comical. This is like Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, like, this is literally, like, I know I meme on her calling her A.K. Rowling, but J.K. Rowling, the actual, the cringe lord herself, she said, literally, and I'm not even joking, look it up. She did this interview recently. She said the same thing. So this is like the same thing. I'm talking about verbatim. The same language, the same argument, the same wording, the same shit. J.K. Rowling said this like a couple weeks ago. So that's why I'm calling her A.K. Rowling, because she's saying the same fucking thing. The same fucking thing, okay? Now, again, we can debate what the language, the ideal language would be. That's fine. And no one would harp on her if she were to genuinely, in good faith, try to start or spark a debate to have a better inclusive term, right? That's not... The issue is that she's speaking over and down to transgender people when transgender people are literally, again, at CPAC. This is not even a month ago. At CPAC, this is the conservative, like the heart of the conservative movement. They were doing standing ovations for motherfuckers talking about how transgender people must be eradicated from public life. Standing ovation. That is like within the last month. And now this bitch is gonna hop on some J.K. Rowling talking points. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, like just talk about time and place to have, like, we can talk about this conversation, whatever. If she would have said this same exact thing, just even a couple months from now, who knows what the political climate could be. But just the timing for this, I don't know if it could have gotten better, right? But like the timing for this, man. Like self-awareness whatsoever, you know?
So Mike Figueiredo from the Humanist Report reminded me of a video we did a few years ago where we were defending someone who used the phrase people with the capacity for pregnancy in the context of the abortion debate, I believe it was. I'm totally fine with that. I think that's totally fine. If that's what they want to use in a medical setting, great. But for me, my personal preference is I don't like to be referred to, even in the context of an abortion debate, as a person with a uterus.
Okay, so this is why I'm telling you I 1000% guarantee you that this person is useless, and this is a non-apology apology, because she brings up that Mike from the Humanist Report brought up that she was on both sides of this issue and she flip-flopped. And she missed the point from Mike. Like, Mike makes a point, she misses the point completely, right? And then she's like, I have no problem with being referred to as a person who has the capacity to become pregnant in an abortion context, but I don't want to be referred to that in an abortion context. So, do you prefer the term person with the capacity for pregnancy? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying you prefer that term? Or are you saying you only want to discuss this in an abortion context? I mean, both of them are dumb points, right? We should be making up inclusive terms for everybody in any context. That's my opinion. That's my goal. But again, she literally just contradicted herself within a couple seconds. And again, this idea of pointing out her good track record, you know, all the power to Mike. He's trying his best, and I know he's in a position where they actually are friends. I don't know Anna, so I don't care about bridge burning. I don't care. Like, let's blow the fucking bridge up like it's fucking like some Halo shit, okay? Let's, you know, I don't give a fuck. But anyway, like, the idea that she would have a good track record and still do this much of a colossal misstep, and that's assuming good faith, charitable, that she's doing this on accident. I think this is a purposeful attempt at rebranding herself for the sake of trying to get Republicans to watch her show. That's what I think this is. She's trying to rebrand herself. Well, I still don't like Republicans. I told Carrie Lake to fuck off. But the reasonable Republicans who also understand that the left is a little out of control, maybe they'll come into TYT. That's all she's doing. It's a branding exercise, right? Whether or not she knows it on a cognitive level, which she might not, because people in the news industry, their brains get rewired to like care about clout and money and views more than principles and actual politics, right? So it's possible that she's just running on autopilot and her cognitive mind doesn't understand what she's doing. But I'm guaranteeing you here, the only reason she would do any of this is for branding. Again, no one was talking about this, right? The only reason she wants to do this is to get Republicans to watch her show. And she doesn't give a fuck about trans men. She just doesn't. She doesn't. She doesn't give a fuck about trans women. She doesn't give a fuck about trans men. She just doesn't. It's just that simple. Basically.
Person with the capacity for pregnancy, that's great. That's all I'm saying. I think my track record on transgender issues is pretty clear, and I hope you understand that I have no disdain or hatred for the transgender community whatsoever. That's all.
Yeah, her track record is great, and her support is conditional. So I say this, again, useless. It's useless. Now, if you want to say this, I'm purity testing, yes. Okay, I'm purity testing. And I think if, in the same way that Anna purity tests Democrats who she feels are not standing up properly for abortion rights, I'm purity testing allies, quote unquote, who are not actively and actually standing up for trans rights. So yes, maybe I am purity testing. But again, I think all minority groups, all oppressed peoples, all workers, all people that are not, right, the rich oligarchs of the world, I think we should all work together and we should all come up with the best thing that works for everybody. And again, if she could have approached the whole conversation differently, if she genuinely wanted to talk about what her preferred terms were, she would have started the conversation that way, but she didn't. She started the conversation like a triggered little liberal baby who doesn't actually give a fuck about anyone and just wants to brand herself so that she can get a second debate with Ben Shapiro, or maybe she can get on Tim Pool's podcast, or maybe she can get invited to Fox News to talk about why the left is going too far, right? This is this bitch is talking about Tulsi Gabbard. I called out Tulsi Gabbard before anyone did. Great job. You've become Tulsi Gabbard. So congratulations, right? But anyway, again, this is why I don't really care about left-wing YouTubers anymore. I don't really care about this space. I don't really care about this community because it's just all a bunch of, and I participated in it too sometimes. I'm participating in it right now, right? So, come on. Like, I don't care about these people anymore. Like, this isn't like, there's no movements anymore. Like, whatever, TYT, Justice Democrats, they started something. Sure, maybe that was a long time ago, and that's also irrelevant from this conversation. There's no movement going on at TYT. It's just audience capture, and all they're doing is, well, their audience is, they're not getting enough, and they want to rebrand, I guess. They're changing course. And it's just sad. It's just sad, right? It's just sad. I don't know what else to tell you. And these people identify as like the home of progressives or some shit. I just say, if this is the home of progressives, I don't want to be a progressive. I don't want to associate with progressive, if that's where they're going home. And again, TYT is in a position of authority. They have a lot of people that maybe are on the fence on transgender rights and that kind of stuff. And they do take Cenk and Anna's positions on this seriously. And what they're doing is they're driving those people to the right now. Now again, and if this is their apology, if this is them trying to return to the point from last week or wherever, She's failed. This is a bad apology, whatever it is. It's just bad, right? And the other problem that I see in left-wing YouTube circles is, and again, all the power to them. If they're friends with Anna, you're trying your best. But it's the same problem that happens in mainstream news. Oh, I don't want to call out my friend. My friend that works on the same network said something cringy. I don't want to talk about my friend. This is the same problem with politics, political parties, right? Like Donald Trump is going out there breaking 28 laws. Republicans are like, he's a great man. Why? Because they're on the same team. So you see a lot of these left-wing YouTubers. And again, I'm not trying to shit on them. I understand they're in a minefield. But we got to fucking just erase this whole minefield concept. We got to bring back good faith, actual disagreement, and constructive feedback. Because again, if Anna Kasparian watches my video and she's like, damn, that bitch owned me, holy shit, and she goes out there and does an actual apology, I'm in. I'm all the way in. I embrace people taking the best possible route to the best possible thing for the best possible amount of people. I embrace that. So Anna Kasparian comes out and does a real apology, I'm all in. I'll be like, oh man, that's so great, how heartfelt, right? But like, this ain't it, right? And again, too many people are too entrenched in too many like friend circles and friend zones that they're unable to actually make real. And I'm just going to say this. I saw this Majority Report video entitled like Anna Kasparian's not anti-trans. And it's like Emma just talking about her track record. Oh, her track record's so good. I mean, her tweet's bad, but her track record. I'm just saying that video, garbage. Now, I love the Majority Report. I got their cup. Look at this shit. I love the Majority Report. That video is garbage. Why is it garbage? For the same reason that people were afraid to talk about how shitty Jimmy Dore was a couple years ago. Remember when everyone was being made fun of because they were too afraid? TYT themselves they were afraid to come out against Jimmy Dore until Jimmy Dore did this big crusade against them specifically, right? It's the same fucking concept. People are afraid to talk about bad takes from their supposed friends, and it just enables their bad behavior. Come on now, man. Garbage. I mean, I'm just saying this. And again, I say this because I want them to be better. I don't want to dislike these people. You think I want to dislike people? You think I want to deal with disliking people? I don't want to dislike people. I want to love people. I want to play video games with people. I want to talk about movies with people. I want to fucking talk about space and fucking exploring the universe with people. I want to talk about doing drugs with people. I love humans. I love talking to humans. It's not my fault that most humans fucking suck. Like, most humans fucking suck. I don't want that to be the case, but that is the case, and I'm throwing Anna Kasparian in that category of sucky-ass humans. And again, I'm totally down. If she wants to unsuck herself, that's great. But I hate this, like, culture of, like, oh, I gotta defend my friend at all costs. Even though my friend is doing something really bad, I gotta be extremely unobjective and biased. Like, I'd rather people like Emma Vigeland just not talk about it, to be honest with you, right? Again, and shout outs to her. I love the Majority Report. Huge fan. I don't really watch it anymore. I don't really watch much anymore in that kind of space, but I do love Majority Report. Again, I got the cup, so you can't come on now. But again, that video, I'd rather them not talk about it. To be honest with you, I'd rather them not talk about it than do this wishy-washy, well, her track record. Well, again, the track record thing is not a defense. If anything, that's like a nuclear barrage of an offense, because how can you have this track record and still say stupid ass shit like Anna did? That's the crazy stuff going on, okay? But anyway, there's my segment. People wanted me to talk about this, so I did, against my own better judgment. And now I'm gonna have to put up with the fallout. Now I'm gonna have to deal with the fallout from this one. But whatever. So there you go. Oh. Anyway, that's my show. If you want to join me on Twitch later to discuss this subject or more in depth, I'll be playing through the Resident Evil 4 remake. Feel free to join me, or don't. You don't have to. Yeah. Someone with no username says, my experience has been that most online friends will tear you down in response to any criticism, even bad faith ones. Well, that's my thing, is it's twofold, right? One, people need to be more comfortable criticizing others. And two, people need to be more comfortable accepting criticism. Right, so for example, I get this criticism a lot. You're too tough on religious people. This is a criticism I get a lot. Now, again, you watch my show, you know, yeah, it's true. I am tough on religious people. So I take that criticism. You know, I know there's people that just disagree with my personal opinion is that religious people being religious and lending any credence to these conspiracy theories enables the crimes of the worst, among their tribe, right? So when it comes to Christians, right, Christians are trying to kill me. Christians in this country, the United States, want me to die, and they're using their political power to kill me and people like me. So anyone that says, oh yeah, good Christians, bad Christians, Christianity is good, it's just some people corrupted, all that is to me, I hear that you're enabling Christianity, and I also, again, it's just fundamentally illogical. Like, it's fundamentally absurd to believe in a religion. So I get a lot of people providing good faith criticism. If someone says, I don't like how Andrea talks about religion, I'm not going to say that person's garbage. I have religious friends, right? They know my opinion, right? My religious friends who are my friend, well, I don't really have any friends, but acquaintances, people that I'm in respectful, compliance with of any kind, right? I've debated religious people on the subject of religion, so people need twofold: to be more accepting of criticism and to be more willing to give people criticism. Because if people criticize me, that's fine, right? You can disagree with me on anything, that's fine. I disagree with people in my chat all the time, and it's great, right? But it's like some people just take this fucking shit so goddamn seriously. And it's just annoying. It's so fucking annoying. They treat their fucking YouTube like they're playing House of Cards. You ever see House of Cards, Kevin Spacey? Right? They treat their fucking YouTube like that fucking TV show, like they're fucking Machiavellian chess masters trying to take over the world. But it's like, no one cares about you, and they have just reducing power and influence, and they're destroying their own power and influence. It's just, Fun P, $4.99. Thanks for talking about your fasting and got me started fasting. I'm feeling good about it, so thank you, blue heart emoji. No, thank you, Fun P, for the super chat. Appreciate that. There you go. Yeah, it's a shame. I had the privilege of watching House of Cards before the Kevin Spacey news came out, so it'll never be the same. By the way, talk about like the history of fucked up freaks. Kevin Spacey may be in like the top 10 list of the worst fucked up freaks in the history of fucked up freaks. Like, that guy is fucked up, man. Like, have you heard the conspiracy, which I believe, that he is like killing people that he raped and molested so that they can't, basically confess against him or, turn witness against him? Like, because several people who he has, again, molested or raped suddenly randomly died, right? Like, there's some crazy shit going on there. I personally believe that stuff. So that guy, again, fucked up freak. Reelon, 5 memberships. Thank you. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to upload these clips and accept the flurry of hatred from TYT fans on my program. So, again, thank you all for watching. I will be streaming on Twitch for a while today. Once again, a while, actually, I will be streaming on Twitch because I will be playing through the entirety of the new Resident Evil 4. And so if you want to watch that, you can. You're able to do so. Anyway, thank you, everybody. QCock will be on the Twitch stream. If you want to ask me something, gotta watch my Twitch stream. Okay, bye. Is this thing on still?